Wrestling with wrestling's past and present.
Trucive thought it was like, eat the paintball. So I just took a bite out of it in the middle of the class. And I have like orange and blue paint dripping down my lip.
Teacher was like, he's crazy. He just ate paint. We better do it today. So I don't even have to tell her. Mom, Tim's make fun of me.
I'm Mondo.
Yeah.
Mondo.
Mondo.
Mondo. Mondo Burger. Welcome to Good Burger. Welcome to Good Burger. Can I take your order?
Just went to further the cheap pop. Mick Foley still owes Tim $10.
Just the definition of blue balls and gaga. It's like
That should be a t-shirt. Blue balls and gaga.
I was waiting for him to say his name. I'm like,
Totally forgot to say it.
You give this fucking guy 1 week off, and you add 2 words to the intro. And Tim's like, I don't know what to do. I just don't know what to do. We've been doing the intro for 200 fucking episodes the same way.
That was the most asinine shit that I've ever seen. Like, it just like, that was a storyline. A man ate his dog.
Oh, they're huge.
I'm titillated.
Make sure you talk about his calf muscle being bulging and his arm muscle being like
Reason to come here and listen to ourselves talk.
Absolutely,
And then you can listen to us too.
strap on and balls only on wrestling past and present.
This is Gangrel, the Vampire Warrior, and you're listening to Wrestling with Wrestling's Past and Present.
This is Wrestling with Wrestling's Past and Present. I'm Tim Kurt.
I'm Roland Fulis.
And I'm Mongo.
And today is episode 141. We are continuing our journey through TNA 2006 with Hard Justice. And I'm just going to go on a limb, and I think this show is going to be on fire today.
Fire show.
So hot. It was like TNA really hit the ground running, and it's crazy. You know, it was a smoke show of matches.
Yeah, the first match was just a plethora of like pyro and smoke, and
they almost tore the roof off.
Yeah, close. Yeah, it was almost, you know. And the best part was we get to watch it all, even though they could have edited it out of everything, but they left it in because, you know, why not experience it again?
Yeah, I was going to say, let's ready. And for those of you who don't know what we're talking about.
Yeah, they're all trying to duck out of the way as we've had a little.
So they're literally wrestling in the ring right now.
With.
Is that the story?
Yeah.
Right. Well, we're in a.
And they don't know what's going on. The announcers are really clueless.
I can't breathe right now. They're trying to stop this thing. Poor guys in the ring.
You can hear the fire extinguishers going off.
And they're trying to figure this out. There's still some on this side, guys. We'll figure out a way to get it.
They're chanting the roof is on fire.
Because it was.
We're blinded here at the broadcast table.
My favorite's coming up.
Something at the top of the building because of the pyro. Now you see Johnny Devine spring back and miss Eric. Oh, brother.
Like I said, now I know how they felt calling that Chicago Bears Philadelphia Eagles football game.
Just when you think you've seen it all, something like this happens. Matchup continues, however.
The crowd's just like, yeah, you can't see
very
this.
close to the pin right there. As right now they're all trying to duck out of the way as we've had a little.
So it's just, I think it's absolutely hilarious that, like Roland, they were saying, they just didn't edit it out. They're like, hey, guess what? It was live TV. Fuck it, we're keeping the match in that. We didn't know what was going on. It's wow. It was great.
And then
it reminded me of that WrestleMania where they had the rain delay and they're like, we're just going to interview a bunch of fucking people. Yeah, that's pretty much what they did.
And I don't
after
know
the fact, sorry to cut you off, but after they finished that match, like not while the fire was happening, not while they put it out, but after that, they're like, let's all go outside.
So I don't know if when I was watching it on Impact Plus, if it buffered weird or if this was a legitimate mistake, but during the delay, they showed the package setting up the.
He said package.
Okay. Anyways.
I'm
going to get Sonra Stapp on the phone. If
oh boy. He will put you in your place, Mongo.
You mean he'll retweet that I follow him after I didn't even tag him because he's just so like vain that he searches himself?
You know, if he retweeted, that actually probably going to help us maybe.
every week it's something with Mongo getting himself. Last week it was Facebook. The week before that, I think it was Sean Ross Sapp hated him again. It's every week.
Okay, first of all, we all know like my thoughts and feelings on Zuckerberg, but No, Sean Ross Sapp. I literally was just commenting back and forth in a thread, and the guy brought up how, Meltzer's fickle, blah, 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 and then there's bias. And all I said was, we all know Meltzer, flip-flops like crazy and has a hard-on for the Young Bucks, and that Sapp, has his buddies in AEW feed him. And that's all I said. No one tagged him in the thread. I didn't tag him. I'm just casually looking at mentions. This is like 2 weeks ago I had this conversation, by the way. I'm like looking at my mentions today at lunchtime, and it's just like, he's retweeting me. I'm like, that's weird. And it's just a picture like zoomed in of my handle, and it says follows you. And he's like, to basically say I follow him. Surprise, I follow a dirt sheet writer. But then you're just gonna randomly search 2 weeks of mentions because you're so vain and have such a fragile ass ego, apparently. Like, wow. Like, I don't get it, guys. Like, I wasn't even trolling him. And he's if you go through his timeline, if you're bored, check it out. He like literally just like retweets and he'll like clap back at people. I'm like, are you trying to be Wendy's? I don't get it.
So,
did you just want to see me want to rant? Is that what you were trying to do?
Yeah.
Good. I appreciate you.
Get it out of the way.
On the show, so I mean,
get it out of the way early.
So what I was saying, so they were doing the video montage, Mongo, of the setting up the Sting Barrett match for the main event. Did it like you guys were watching it? Did it like skip and then like repeat itself like towards the end of the package? Or maybe
I had to watch it on YouTube because the fucking app kept buffering like crazy.
Yeah,
the app on YouTube.
The app that I pay $72 for a fucking year, that they told me I didn't pay $72 for a fucking year a while back, has been nothing but fucking problems. You would think that Sean Ross Sapp runs that app because like he just hates us, apparently. He knows we're affiliated with Mongo, and he's like, well, fuck those guys. Like it's weird. I don't, or Facebook. Maybe Zuckerberg has something to do with it. I don't know, but I mean, you can definitely just tweet your hate mail at
Elon Musk didn't become an
Yeah, right.
I was watching it.
Was that at Roland Fearless? Is that what you said?
No, it's not. No, because like they like me. I think I haven't had any issues with anybody. Seems to be you most of the time.
Apparently I'm too deep into social media. Sometimes
it's so bad that Mongo will text us in his group chat to like help him. Like I remember that I got that text. He's like, "Can you help me? These guys are killing me." Like I can't remember what it was, but I remember Mongo was like, "I need help. Like this isn't good." And I can't even remember. It was something a while back, but it was funny. He texted and he was like, "I need someone else who has a brain."
But it's a sign that we're growing our page and our community because we're getting trolls now. That's what it was. We're getting trolls.
No, so you're not wrong.
I appreciate like 99% of our interaction. Like first of all, we love you when you guys interact with us. It's awesome. We love having conversations in our threads. That's the whole point of our page. So it's great. Like we've been interacting with a lot of different, followers and fans of our page and podcasts, whatever. But then once in a while, you just get that person they're trolling you for no reason. So it was more too. I also get you to look at like, hey, am I saying something that's like pissing this person off? Like, what's going on? Or I was like, oh, they're just trolling. But I asked Tim for help, but I find out in about 5 to 7 business days. So,
wow. True.
Well,
that's how long it takes me to decipher what you're saying in your text messages.
That's also a fair point. Sometimes your text messages can be hard to decipher. That's a valid point.
Fat thumbs, small screens don't always equate to the best and text and punctuation.
Like I believe, actually, earlier tonight at 5:25 p.m. on Friday night, you texted in the group chat, "Ha, Sean Ross Sapp can suck dick. He's a bitch." So, you typoed the my. It's mu instead. Can suck my dick. He's a bitch.
Oh, way to help me on that one.
Just trying to help you. There was a little bit of a typo.
If I wasn't blocked by him before, I'm certainly going to be blocked now.
Here's the thing, though. In all honesty, Mongo, do you really care? Like,
No.
I mean, to be honest, people like Sean Ross Sapp and Meltzer are like one step above like the scum of the earth, anyways. Like you said, clearly, Meltzer like flip flops over everything. He may or he could, but he might. But it could change between now and tomorrow. But then you have Ross Sapp, then you have Ross Sapp, who then also is, like you said, so vain he has to like, who's talking about me? Well, they're talking about me bad, but he follows me. Like, dude, like that. Social media has so many trolls on it nowadays that you can't. What people say, you can't even take like a grain. You have to take it with a grain of salt, because if you don't, you're going to go crazy, and that's what at times Sean Ross Sapp does. Like, I mean, what was that wrestling page where the guy was just like digging himself deeper and deeper there about a month or so ago on something that he said? I can't remember, but I remember Mongo was like, he just keeps going, just keeps getting worse. I think it was something to do with Nyla Rose.
Oh yeah.
I'm just saying, they just kept going. Mongo's like, the guy just keeps making it worse. He's like, he's not helping himself any here. Like, it's just once you get involved with trolls like that, and you let them affect you, clearly you can tell the people that have any bit of celebrity. And then I use the term loosely because I don't really think Meltzer and Sean Ross Sapp are celebrities, but anybody that they can get a rise out of, that's what they're going to do.
Yeah, you can clearly tell he was bullied in high school, and that's like, I got a little bit of power now. But it's just, I think it's more comical. I'm like, okay, like, you're gonna blast me, they follow you, like you said, or you have trolls like trying to get in your mentions, like your point. Even on our TikTok at WWPAP Podcast, for all of our socials, people will comment the stupidest things to get you going. A lot of times I'll just delete their comment because there'll be something stupid like we posted a funny video of an AEW botch that Roland had sent, and someone commented like, WWE botch is worse. I'm like, okay, it's not the point of the video. See you later. Like, rent free.
Everybody botches everywhere. Sometimes they're funny. Sorry, like, no matter who does.
Botchamania is one of the funniest things we watch on YouTube for that reason. Like, we hope no one gets hurt. Like, we're not rooting for them to get hurt, but like, it's funny when they go for like, Ronda goes for an armbar and she misses and she just flips herself over on her ass, and then Liv tries to flip with her. Like, oh, here we go. Oops.
I would venture to say that we've commentated more botches. Just throwing it out there. I mean, you have botches. Oh, look at that.
Have you tried the Starlight Coca-Cola yet?
I have not.
You should try it before it goes. It's pretty good.
Good.
Hey, Mongo, I just wanted to point out too, Tim and I on Sunday, we both each got a hole in one.
That's right.
That's awesome.
We were playing the golf. Well, not in real life, but like video games, because I can't walk so good, and can't really.
I can't golf so
between the two of us, maybe like if you could take what I had for a golf game and then walk for me, like maybe we could be like halfway decent. But yeah,
you've seen me golf. I golf at your bachelor party, so like, you've seen how terrible I am.
Valid point. A for effort, though. You try.
Hey, between Tim and I, we shake so many fucking balls into those trees.
Hey,
don't bring me into this.
To be fair, to be fair, Tim and I on an average round of golf together would probably lose at least a case of balls between the two of us.
Yeah,
I mean, it just happens.
I would lose one of myself, Tim, so don't feel bad. I'm not saying you were my level of bad, but I'm just saying.
The sad thing is that Tim may have lost all those golf balls, but he was still the second best person there. Like, and that's not tooting anybody's horn and saying I'm better. My forte was I was a little bit better at getting length out of my shots than Tim was, but Tim hit him fucking dead straight almost all the time. The only time he'd have trouble was every now and then he'd shank a drive. My drives would shank all the time. I would just aim that way. So like,
neither one of us are Kerwin White. So
I mean,
no, or Dolph Ziggler. I mean, we don't have caddies or anything, and is what it is. But yeah, so and the worst part was Tim. And this has nothing to do with anything. We'll just shoot the shit here for a second. The worst part is I waited too long to buy the damn game. Remember how I told you it was on sale?
Yeah,
it went off sale when I went to buy it. It was not $17 anymore. It was $59.99. No, thank you.
Not for like a 2-year-old game at this point.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I have it on PlayStation, but like, can you play? Like, do you know if you can play somebody like online, like a friend? Can you do a match like that?
Yes, you can.
So I mean, if I had bought it, you and I could have played from a distance, which would have been kind of neat. But like, I'm not going to pay $60 for it either. Like, no thanks.
Yeah, no.
But I also don't. I don't think you can convert your PlayStation to the Xbox either, though. So I don't think my created stuff I have on the PlayStation I could bring to Xbox. I don't think they let me.
Yeah, I'm not sure how that works.
But yeah, again, it has nothing to do with anything. I just figured that I would, toot our horns that we both got holes in ones, cyber holes in ones on 2K21. Like Tim said, the game has been out for like 2 years now.
Thanks to whoever created that course that we played, by the way.
Yeah, that was nice.
And speaking of holes in one, to talk about how not taking golf seriously, I have to tell this story because his birthday is today, technically, when this episode releases, and it's the 13th day, so it's kind of cool. I think Kenny, if you remember, Roland, I don't know if I told you the story. I think the best memory I have of golf was we were out visiting Kenny, and he was like, let's go golfing. We're like, all right. First thing we do is we go to stop. And
Was it you and Glenn? Was it you and Glenn?
No, it was his ex's uncle, Timmy.
Okay. I didn't know if it was if you had Glenn with you or not, or if it was just you.
No, it was the year. It was the year after that. It was,
okay.
It was
all right.
Yeah, it was like 10. Holy shit! It was like 10 years ago. We're old.
That's even better. Like, holy fucking back in the day.
So we first up, he's like, "Hey, we're gonna go Will." I'm like, "To go golfing? All right, I guess we're gonna look for some golf pants." That's first thought. We're gonna look for golf pants. Makes sense because he was like, "I want to be ridiculous, get the golf outfits, everything." I'm like, oh, hell yeah, I'm down. So go Will, find some golf pants, and then he goes over and he grabs a hockey stick. I know this motherfucker's thinking. So he grabs hockey sticks. We take it to the golf course with us. We were dressed in like the most ridiculous outfits. Like I'm wearing these weird, I don't know, carpenter pants that are like khaki because the only thing that like halfway look decent with like this ugly blue polo that I found and like the worst shoes ever, but I thought they were comfortable. He's wearing his like flannel pants with that weird hat with a little fuzzball on top. And we're just playing golf and he's putting with the goddamn hockey putter. He's just putting with the and then we're just looking at us like, yep, those. And then we're taking pictures and all of a sudden the skies opened up as if God himself was like, get the fuck off this course.
That was Chubbs.
Right?
That was Chubbs. He's like, no, not today, Happy.
So I'll post a picture up on our social if you guys want. I just got downpoured in the rain and the picture of the golf clubs. But yeah, it was definitely a fun time. So I figured, in honor of Kenny's birthday, you old fuck, that I tell that story as well as, make sure I wish the stairwell hopping, limousine riding, flying high son of a bitch a happy birthday.
Wouldn't it be like stairwell flopping?
Yeah, I guess because the first time he made it, but
he got greedy.
Our friend Johnny V was like, "Hey, I didn't get that on camera," and he did because he wanted to see him do it again.
He got greedy and went for it again.
He went for it again. Yeah.
So Tim, he literally in the high school jumped from the second floor to the first floor, like over the landing down. Made it the first time. Did not make it the second time. He made it. He was down there.
Yeah.
His foot caught the rail.
Yeah.
And then he just unfortunately face met cement.
Yeah. To believe it or not, the cement did not budge a bit.
Cement won.
Yeah, did not move at all, surprisingly.
I asked him what his biggest regret is that. He says that he got kicked out of the Peter Pan play because of it, because he was in drama club and they kicked him out because it was after school during rehearsals.
Yeah, it wasn't even during school, so yeah, he technically shouldn't have been in the stairwell. So,
whatever. What's the statute of limitations? We're in our late 30s now. What's the statute of limitations of that anyway?
Hey, do you still think that Miss Randall has like a grudge against Kenny all these years later?
Probably.
Okay, just wondering. Susan Randall, if you do, let us know.
Happy birthday, Kenny. We love you, son of a bitch.
Yeah, he was one of my best men in my first wedding. So that's how, far back that goes. And that was in 2004 after he graduated. Well, after Mongo and I graduated, he didn't graduate that year. But, he was supposed to. But, it is what it is.
Remember, I didn't say that one.
and you know what, though? In all sincerity, turned out to be one of the hardest working people I know. The guy busted his ass, went to the Coast Guard, did all this stuff. Essentially, defended the country. I mean, I know some people don't qualify Coast Guard in their minds as like a branch of the military, but it's a real fucking thing, people. And, he did some incredible stuff. So I'll give him credit for that. And arguably might be the most successful friend I had in high school, in all honesty. And I'm not saying, Mongo, you're not successful, because you're probably the most successful of the three of us. I mean, you can actually get out of this godforsaken state when you want to. You're just like, boom, I'm out of here, motherfuckers. But Kenny did it like 10 years ago. So like,
yeah, we got hole-in-ones on Sunday, though.
True. To be fair, I'm still tickled with that, with the holes. And the best part was that the one that you got was on like the last hole too.
It was, yeah.
So like, I mean, it is what it is.
It's like, I got this game one. Tim's like, not today.
He actually did win by a stroke.
I won that one, but I think Tim beat me every other one. So
hey, Jeff does later.
Just about, anyways.
Close, yeah.
But yeah.
We probably should go back to TNA because
that's
the longest derail.
To be fair though, in all honesty, the TNA show won't take that long to cover. Like I'm not saying it was bad, because it wasn't that bad, but it's not. It's almost like an NXT show in all honesty, because even with the like 20-minute intermission, the thing was still only like 2 hours and 40 minutes. So there was really only like 2 hours and 20 minutes of wrestling. So it was pretty much like an NXT pay-per-view, really.
Yeah. So we'll just run over the two pre-show matches real quick. First
Don't run it over with a fire truck. We need that.
We need that later. We have Ron Killings defeating A1 Steak Sauce in just over 3 minutes. I think Ron Killings is a good guy to get the crowd going, although I think he probably at this point deserves a main card spot.
What you guys think Ron Killings is doing anything eventful right now? I mean, I don't know. I mean,
he makes some pretty funny TikToks.
It is that's the so this is after he was K-Quick. So this dude's been around forever. Like if you think of it in that, he's been around like 20 years.
Well, he's
John
in his
Cena's
50s,
childhood hero.
Right? I believe he's in his 50s.
Yeah.
So he's like Jericho's age.
That's what I'm saying. Like he's been doing it for a long time.
Yeah.
So it's crazy to think of Ron Killings, that's our truth. Like that's the guy that still does wrestle from time to time and is probably one of the funniest people on the WWE roster, period.
It's kind of like a Dustin Runnels, how like he doesn't have to wrestle every single time, but like his comedy segments are great.
Dude, some of that stuff that he did with friggin' Booker T and like when he had the stutter and stuff, like some of the stuff Goldust did was like that TikTok I sent you a while back on where he steps in the toilet. He's sitting there on the toilet and he ends up trying, and he's talking to R-Truth actually, ironically enough, and he's like, he's like, I want to be your partner. He's like, dude, you got poop on your foot. But
it was comedy gold. No, and it's great because they got each other. Yeah. R-Truth is Hall of Famer, like not because what he's done to bring literally his K-Quick through when he was Ron Killings back, and like Tim said, it's a shame he never really got that rocket ship strapped to him. He never really got that ultra push that he maybe deserved. Like people just, I don't know what it was. As soon as he came back to WWE second time, they tried that little Jimmy thing, the paranoia gimmick, and it just did not work.
Yeah, he had a little bit of a run in TNA. He was the world champion for I think a couple times actually.
Well, and he sniffed it a little bit in WWE there for a bit when they were trying to make him a serious character. And I just think,
I believe he's won the U.S. title, right? Too.
Yeah.
So. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, he just did turn 50 in January, by the way. So yeah, he's like 50 and a half.
Yeah.
But yeah, still for a guy, I mean, think of it that way. I mean, this is back in 2006 and he'd already come and gone from the WWE once already at this point.
Mm-hmm.
So.
The next pre-show match was a tag team match. You have Sanjay Dutt, Cassidy Riley getting a win over Jimmy Jacobs and El Diablo in about another 3-minute match. I don't know. I like Sanjay Dutt. I think he's a good worker, but I don't think anybody else really cares about the match.
Was that El Torito? I don't know who. It's a little Mexican bull. Is that who you're?
No, I don't. El Diablo is Tommy Diablo, who's Armando Gorbea.
Armando.
What'd you say? Mondo?
Alejandro.
Mondo.
That's Mondo Burger. Just kidding.
But yeah, so we start off the night with what we kind of talked about this earlier. It's Eric Young getting a win over Johnny Devine in about 6 minutes. Only thing notable about this match was the fire that happened midway through. All of a sudden, you see all the smoke coming, and then they pan up to the shot of the fire in the roof and the fire extinguishers going. And they're still wrestling during this in the smoke field. So
they wrestle through it. The crowd's in there through it. The commentators like, fuck, we can't see nothing. And they just keep right on going.
Don was like, oh, there's more over here.
Yeah, Don West, with all of his issues with like cancer and stuff, you have to wonder if like sucking that stuff in that he did during that match, how much that helped. Like, I mean, he even said, he goes, I can taste it. It's like, well, it's probably not good to be breathing that shit in. I'm just throwing it out there.
How do you not stop the match and just like figure a way to like wait until it's safe? Like you have security come out and break up the match. And I'm sorry, but
as soon as the fire extinguishers go off, you sound the alarm and you say, get the fuck out of the building. Yeah. We don't know if it's still on fire or not. Instead, they finish the match and then they hang around and they go to that
anything could happen on live TV, live pay-per-view.
Yeah.
Like they didn't even know where they were. They clearly had no instructions in the headset.
And the best part is, like Tim said, they go to that video package of Jeff Jarrett and stuff. They're still in the arena. They come back, they're outside. Mm-hmm. It's like, so this building's been on fire for like 10 minutes, essentially. And they just like hanging out wrestling. And like, it's like, maybe you guys should have went outside 10 minutes ago.
The other thing too is from a storyline perspective, like this couldn't help the storyline with Eric Young because
don't fire Eric.
Don't fire Eric. Team Canada's done, so he's trying to get the crowd behind him so that they don't fire him.
Tim,
imagine that the crowd can't see what he's doing.
Thoughts on Team Canada finally being done, Tim?
It's been too long. We've been doing TNA what, a year and a half now.
But it's just, I don't know. I'm just tired of it.
That's it. Right there. But yeah, so yeah, they cut it like they do the package, and then they go back to Mike Stay and Jeremy Borath, non-resident there, and the ambulance is there, the crowd's evacuated, and then they do these random interviews for like 2 hours long, and like
that's what I mean. It felt like that SummerSlam, like, oh, it's raining. Let's talk to Titus O'Neil.
Yeah, well, my favorite part too is like Shane Douglas cuts a promo with the Naturals, and there's going to be a 4-way tag team match, and they're hyping that up, and that's the match that got canned because of time. So like they wasted all that time on that promo, and then Monty Brown just cuts this like nonsensical promo.
That's all his promos. All his
it's
promos
just like, oh my god, calling Samoa Joe Fat Joe, and it's just whatever.
It was Fat Joe and Rhino.
So yeah, if you watch this on the Impact Plus app, that is totally unedited.
Well, and even YouTube had it the same way. We got all that footage. They did not edit or try to get rid of that footage at all. They just like, hey, here it is.
Yeah.
They probably didn't know how back then with their budget. They're probably just like, look, just cut off the like first 10 seconds, the last 10 seconds.
It's like what we do. It's like what we do. We go live. Just don't get rid of the first.
Or Tim will tell you he's going to cut something out, and then I listen back and I hear it. I'm like, I cringe.
Yeah, well, I mean, not everybody's perfect, Mongo.
The other thing we should mention.
I never said this down it. I just meant I was being funny because I've edited it with a trailer randomly playing in the middle of the episode, so I can't say anything.
That's true. Whenever you get the episodes early, you know whose fault it is.
Yep, that's right.
Surprise, motherfuckers!
The other thing we should mention that happened during the match, too, before they got evacuated, was Earl Hebner attacked Slick Johnson, and like then Larry Zbyszko came out with this ugly wig on, and like I have a question for you guys: why does Slick Johnson get to wear shorts?
I never understood that.
He's slick. That's why.
Yeah. I don't know. Anyway, nobody cares about Earl Hebner and Slick Johnson, but
no, I mean, and then the best part, they later on in the show, like they asked Larry Zbyszko like where Earl Hebner is. He's like, I had him kicked out of the building, and they're like, well, what's he thinking? And Zbyszko's like, I don't know what he's thinking. Like, why are you asking me? Like, it's like it went nowhere. Like, I know what they were trying to do, but like no one, even back in 2006, no one was invested in what Earl Hebner was doing and what his son was doing and what his late brother was doing. Like, no one gives a flying, like, no one cares about these referees. That's like when people in AEW, like people that hate on AEW, like crap on Aubrey Edwards. It's like, she's a referee. She's there to supposed to enhance the match. If you're focusing on her too much, you're the problem, not her. Mm. And she does a fine job.
Yeah.
Is she a little over the top sometimes? Yes. But then again, it's a wrestling show. It's supposed to be over the top, folks.
It's not as over the top as Rick Knox, though. Like, one.
Right. And that's how he's always been.
Or the guy that goes.
Yeah. It was this close.
Like, and a lot of them were on PWG too, which if you guys have ever seen the PWG show, it's meant to be over the top and goofy and ridiculous. So it's probably just so ingrained in them. Sometimes they forget they're like they have, but like Roland said, if you're focused on them, then you're obviously bored of the match anyway. You're just trying to find something. It's like you sent me a video of someone like nitpicking and tearing apart every single segment. It's like, why did you watch it if like every single segment just like butthurt you?
Are you telling me that there's over the top stuff in wrestling?
I know. Who would have thought?
I mean, Jim Cornette, who is the king of the over the top, and was the network or the powers at TNA.
Old Carney Jim.
Yeah. Which I think is funny because that's why this whole stupid storyline of Earl Hebner attacking fucking Shorts McGee is because he got fired for the whole Jeff Jarrett debacle that took 2 fucking pay-per-views to get here so Jarrett could finally defend against Sting, who shouldn't even be defended, should be Christian, like which sets something up later. But it's like, I don't know. They just took a storyline and like, how can we fuck this storyline up? We'll add a bunch of Gaga. Jeff Jarrett's like, that's fucking perfect. Every match should have Gaga.
Gaga and blue balls.
That's right.
That's our t-shirt. Tim already patented that shirt.
Yes.
I'm still working on the design. Spoiler alert. Working on the design for those shirts.
Next up is a singles match. You have Chris Sabin getting a win over Alex Shelley with Kevin Nash and Giant Divine in 8 minutes. Storyline here is Kevin Nash is hurt with the neck. He's in a wheelchair, neck brace. He tries to, get involved unsuccessfully. Chris Sabin gets the win. This is the whole thing where Kevin Nash is trying to destroy the X Division. This match was pretty good. These are two good workers. I just think I don't think they needed the whole Kevin Nash thing in this match.
No, it's literally like we have Kevin Nash on payroll for 7 more months. What do we do with him? Yeah. We're gonna have him come back and pretend he's a luchador and try to be in the X Division. Yeah, that'll be the way to do it.
And it's just Kevin Nash, like post 2002, was already a shell of himself. So I know he was joking around in his podcast that he thinks he has one more match. No, you don't.
Have you seen how that worked out for Ric Flair?
He might not be done, by the way.
I fucking hope so.
He just wants to put the dye in dehydration. It's just
all right. I don't know if you saw this, but this really like Rick. I respect Ric Flair for what he's done.
Up until this last weekend.
Yeah, I respect what he's done for the business and everything, and I know, he needed to go away a long time ago. But he posted this thing about the whole dehydration thing, and he was going to drink beer to hydrate afterwards, and the Undertaker convinced him to drink Gatorade first.
Yeah,
I'm like, beer makes you dehydrated.
he didn't. He didn't, because he didn't train and didn't take it seriously. I don't care what his little stupid training videos. And like you said perfectly last week, Tim, your family should be embarrassed for letting that happen. And how do you let, and like Roland said, someone who's close to 80 go out there and with a pacemaker and almost die in the ring? Conrad should be fucking embarrassed that was the main event.
And then Conrad goes on to talk about it on his podcast like it's fucking nothing. He's like, "Oh, let's talk about how you almost died in the ring twice." It's like, why are we talking about this still? Like can we just? It's worse. Take Old Yeller out behind the barn and fucking put one right between the eyes. Like literally, like no offense, like someone needs to be like Rick. No.
It reminds me of, do you guys remember Beyond the Mat when Terry Funk was like in his bedroom, like icing up his knees and you saw the bone spurs and all his legs are destroyed? That's what Ric Flair reminded me of when he walked out. He could barely hold the big gold belt up, which was sad enough.
He fucking dropped it.
Yeah. And then it's just, and I'm not trying to shit him because he's old, but it's just like, as a fan, it's like, you don't need to see this. We already know the match is embarrassing, but then he's like, yeah, I passed out twice, and you can tell. Then he's like, oh, it's dehydration. It's not because you were too old. You have a pacemaker, you have heart issues. Heart issues means you're not getting enough blood through your body. Your heart could have stopped. Like, what are you trying to do? Like,
well, he's got a pacemaker. It's fine if it stops. That'll fix it. It's fine.
I don't understand how there's not enough money in other appearances because that motherfucker charges like $200 for a photo op. So you're telling me he doesn't make enough money going to Comic Cons? Like,
he's got 12 ex-wives. What do you expect?
Well, he spends it. That's the problem. He spends the money.
See, some financial assistant who's a random wrestling can just take Rick, like, let me manage your money. Let me invest in some of these fucking 5-year annuities, Rick. At least by the time you're 83, you'll be able to retire with a shit ton of money, but because you'll eventually won't know and your family will get your money. But like, it's just sad. And I'm sick of seeing now you hear all these other old wrestlers joke, like Mick Foley was joking about going, no, we don't want to see it. Like, we don't want to see it with Oldberg. Like, Sting worries me. I'm not going to lie. Like, I like watching Sting. It's enjoyable, but they could say he's going to stop tomorrow and I'd be perfectly okay with it because I just feel like he's one bad bump away from like paralysis, and Edge to a point worries me. It's like, I'm a fan, but I'm worried about them as humans too. Like, I don't want someone to paralyze themselves for entertainment. It was bad enough to basically hear about draws as a kid, like getting paralyzed.
Brian Danielson worries the hell out of me. In all honesty,
my God, yes.
His history with head injuries and stuff, and like he's continued the history of them in AEW now, and it's like, dude, you're gonna be Bret Hart. You're gonna get a head injury, and I know that was one of the with the Bret Hart Goldberg situation and whatever, but like all it's gonna take is someone playing the role of Goldberg to kick Daniel Bryan in the head. Like for real, and then boom, he'll be just like Bret Hart. He'll be a guy that has a stroke way too young and can't function in the ring anymore. And it's like, no offense, but some of these guys need to fucking stop. Like you're gonna end up, your quality of life at a certain point. Like you mean to tell me that people like Brian Danielson haven't made enough money to be fighting? I mean, he was at least responsible with his money, so like, there's no way he doesn't have money. Like,
I can see why this is CM Punk's last run. He's going to have this last run. He's going to, because you can tell he's feeling a little more hurt. Like he's still kind of got a limp. I mean, he obviously sold that we worked everyone with his injury being worse than it was, but at some point, like watching even TNA, it's like realizing how long Alex Shelley's been going, and he just put on a banger. I watched the highlights of Emergence from earlier tonight, him and Josh Alexander, which spoiler, by the time you guys see it's been old enough, Josh Alexander retained, but the match was probably a 5-star match. And this is his first title match, and we're talking 16 years ago that they're having this great of a match on a card, and then he's still wrestling. But it's like you like watching, you realize like, holy crap, these guys have been going for a long time, and the movie The Wrestler just becomes real. Like if you guys, Tim, if you've never seen the movie The Wrestler with Mickey Rourke,
No, I have. Yeah,
good.
Great
It's probably one of my favorite movies, just because it's just so gritty.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's what
Marissa Tomei is naked in it.
Oh yeah, she's Aunt May in Spider-Man too. You know that, Tim?
Huh?
New Spider-Man. She's Aunt May.
Oh, she is.
Yeah.
And
I just think it's funny because Robert Downey Jr. is always like, "Say hi to your aunt for me." Like just being, Peter's like, "What?"
Yeah. I think the problem is these guys just don't know how to like leave it, and like I think it's so hard for them because the lifestyle, you're on the road all the time. So if that stops, they don't know what to do with themselves because they don't know how to be home and just be a normal everyday person. But you can't. But like Bryan Danielson would be one hell of a agent, like for AEW or something like that. Like he has a future in the business without performing.
Yeah, if he doesn't go brain dead first. That's the worst part. Like I'm worried that he's like one big movie. I don't understand. And there's rumors out there that like Tony Khan's starting to lose the locker room a little bit. And I don't know how true they are. Whatever, that's fine. But like, how can you knowingly put these guys out there? Like, how can Conrad Thompson put out a fucking card with his father-in-law who could die in the ring because he has a pacemaker and he's fucking 800 years old? Like, how can he promote that? Like, somebody should have looked him right in the eyes and literally told that spoiled kid, no. Like, no, you're not. No, Rick, no, you're not doing this. You're 100 fucking years old. No.
And they kept trying to make you, kept trying to make you feel bad. They're like, he was cleared by 3 doctors. I don't care what anyone says. You can go to any doctor in this country. You can find a doctor to say yes when 100 others said no.
Yeah. And
I remember personally, I almost died because a certain hospital in the town that we grew up in, Afghanistan, the hospital decided to send me home when I was having severe medical issues that required emergency surgery. And if I had just listened to that first doctor, but so getting opinions is fine, but you can always find a doctor. I hate to say it, people who have problems, addictions, they doctor shop. They find that one doctor at the urgent care who doesn't give 2 shits. It's like, oh, you need me to clear you? Fine. Give me $100 for the visit. All right. Rick gives him $200. Yeah, you're clear. You're fine. He clearly wasn't in cardio shape. I'm not in shape. That would be me. That's how slow I would move because I'm not in shape.
I think you might move faster. Like, you watch some of the highlights. He was in slow motion a lot of that match, and some of it was because he wasn't ready for it, and the other bit of it was that he's 73 fucking years old. Like, it's
like that Simpsons episode where like the old people like have the fight club at the nursing home and they're all like, it's taking like an hour to punch someone. It's crazy the world of wrestling. Then just like you have WB who's becoming, not to get too off track, is finally becoming decent again and bringing back Hit Row and things like that. And you have older TNA where you can see where they made mistakes. It's like you hope that Tony Khan looks to the past and that maybe like work with Triple H. I guarantee you, if they worked out a deal where it's like, hey, we're not going to have like our top stars versus our top stars, but if Jericho fucking showed up as a favor, and then maybe Double or Nothing, one of the pay-per-views, you have like the Uso shop, like you have small little trade-offs. You don't have to have storylines about anything, but as one-offs, fans would go ape shit. And who cares if you're competitors? Because at the end of the day, you're still going to drive each other up.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, WWE's already hit the ceiling. Like they can't go any further into the stratosphere. I mean, they'll go up another million fans probably, but they ain't going back to the 8 million, 9 million of the Attitude Era.
Am I like the only one that doesn't really care that he brought back Hero? Like, I'm just wondering because, like, to me, I think it's based on the fact that like they never got that shot on the main roster, so like kind of like, and I get that's why they're back, but like, I never really thought they were anything special before that. Like, no offense, like I'm not trying to like disparage anybody that's fans of them or whatever, but like to me, bringing Hit Row back is whatever. Like it's not a Karrion Kross or a Marion Kross. It's not that. It's literally like 3 people I could care less about, and I think that's because like Vince ruined them. Like I'm not invested in them, and I wasn't before either, because I watch NXT casually. I don't follow it like I probably should, but I mean, who has time to watch wrestling Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday twice? Like it's a lot of wrestling. Like, and then people are like, well, if you watch some indie shows, or if you watch, like, the amount of wrestling manga watches is baffling. Cause I don't know. I couldn't do it. Like it's not possible. But like, I hope that nobody's like offended by those comments, but like, I don't give a flying fuck that Hit Row's back, because I wasn't invested in them before. It's not a Karrion Kross. It's not I care more about Dakota Kai coming back and stuff like that than I do Hit Row. And I think a lot of that is Vince ruined them.
And that's what it is. And I think that's hard. And like you said, I do a lot of the crazier deep dives. And that's just because of my ADD nature, where I'm like, oh, there's other wrestling. Where'd they come from? And then I fall into YouTube rabbit holes. And that's how I watch so much, is because it'll be like you said, like, oh, wow, I think Tim brought it up a while ago. Like, they had some random people show up in AEW, like when Cody Rhodes Open Challenge, like the Indies and stuff like that. So a lot of times they would announce like this person's coming. So I'd go on YouTube. I'd just start watching clips of them and stuff, because I'd want to learn. And some fans get all butthurt, like, I shouldn't have to. And like, no one says you have to. Like Rowan said, just present them in ways we can learn about them. But Vince ruined that. You said it perfectly. You'd be Hit Row. I don't really know a lot about them, because I kind of got casual NXT at that point too. I didn't think it's cool they came back, because I remember they're entertaining. The bigger guy there, the football player, he's on their A&E show, that like
the Most Wanted Treasures, yeah.
Yeah, and he's super entertaining. So it's like, I think there's a chance if they're presented right. I think Triple H should make them less stereotypical. If that's the problem with Vince, he always made everyone so stereotypical, like Do-Rag Vince. Remember Do-Rag Vince?
Yeah. To me, it's like another version of Crime Time.
Yeah,
like that, and that's probably how Vince felt too. Like, and again, I'm not saying that's what they are, but like,
right. No,
Vince is probably like, oh, it's another crime, but they have a woman, but it's Crime Time 2.0. Let's call them that.
Brooklyn.
Yeah,
but they're from Queens now.
Yeah, still, like, so I just, I know that's another tangent for today's show, but like, I'm glad he brought back the other people that he did, and they're talking about Bray might come back and all that stuff, but like, when they're like, oh, Hit Row's back, these people are like losing their mind on TikTok, and I'm like, I don't fucking care. Like, I don't, like, sorry, I just don't.
Well, I think they're very sorry. I was gonna say, I just think they're very over, too, with some of the younger wrestling fans too, because they're Hit Row was more like the TikTok wrestling, because I do remember seeing a lot of their TikToks a while back. So I think they have like a different type of following too, because they do a lot of SoundCloud and a lot of rapping and a lot of like cool content. So like, I think that's how some people gravitate. So I think that's why more people mark out, because it's like that little underground following, kind of like AEW too. Like, even I look sometimes, like, the whole crowd go nuts. I'm like, who is this person? I look up, I'm like, oh, they wrestled in like 2 matches. Cool. Sorry, go ahead, Tim.
Tim Monk pretty much just called me the get off your lawn grandpa guy without calling me the get off your lawn grandpa guy.
That's not what I'm trying to say. I'm just saying, like, it's kind of how, like, if you look at your kids, Roland, like, I look at Cam, he'll play Roblox. I don't have the capacity for that, but then I realized Minecraft and all that shit, it's basically just Legos. It's just on a game. Like, we used to actually do Legos. They like to do the virtual Legos.
Which is better, because you don't have to step on the virtual.
Exactly.
So I was going to say, the best part about the whole Hit Row segment was Pat McAfee using the telestrator on the 2 jobbers that they faced.
Oh, but pooping themselves.
He's like, they have 7 chances to poop their pants and stuff like that.
Can I say that too? My one gripe though is they said they were NC State. I was like, you can't say you're in Raleigh and you say you're NC State. Them saying they're NC State was the equivalent of rolling Dover High School and the Whittemore Center. Like, if they're at the Dover gym, they're like, we're at UNH. No, you're not. You're down the road. You're not even on campus.
You're close. You're in the ballpark. You're about 15 minutes away.
They were where the Miami Hurricane. Oh, no, Miami. Excuse me. The Carolina Hurricanes play. And Tim, what team became the Hurricanes?
What?
What hockey? Team? Yeah, what team?
I have no idea.
Roland?
The Hartford Whalers.
Yes.
Okay. I have no idea. I don't know hockey that well.
Yeah, I was gonna
Still
say,
one of the coolest jerseys back then. I remember having one of those as a kid.
Yeah, but it makes me
Hartford
want
Whalers, wasn't that like a AFL team or something?
so the Hartford Whalers was the NHL team that became the Hurricanes.
Yeah, they just moved. They just moved down here and they rebranded.
But but the Hartford Whalers jerseys make me sad when I see Dougie Hamilton wearing them.
Yeah,
just throwing it out there. Beaker from the Muppets wearing a friggin' just makes me sad. But anyways, let's get back to wrestling.
Yeah, let's get back to
what was the next match
here.
anyway?
This all started from talking about how old Kevin Nash was. And we just gone. Anyways.
So the next match is Abyss with James Mitchell getting a win over Brother Runt, who's Spike Dudley. About 6 minutes here. Pretty predictable match. Brother Runt had
It's brutal. He's just throwing him around like a rag doll.
I mean, it's the kind of the typical underdog, smaller guy trying to beat up the big guy kind of thing. Abyss ends up winning. Nothing special.
No, that's exactly what it was. Like Mongo said, he's throwing him around like a fucking lawn dart for pretty much the whole match. And he would mount a little bit of offense, but pretty much bounce off him, and he'd swat him away like a fly. I mean, and then they had the typical thumbtack spot.
Mm-hmm.
That's about it. I mean, there's nothing to this match. Like me talking about it for 15 seconds might have been too much time.
And does anything just ruin your disbelief more than the fucking Dudley dog? Does anything just take you completely out of, oh, come on, more than the move where the other guy's literally doing it for you? I
mean, there's that move that Orange Cassidy does. What's that? The Stun Dog Millionaire. It's pretty much the same thing.
Yeah. Well, his is funny because his is meant to look lazy, but I just mean in a sense the same thing. If Rio, when she spears someone, you're like,
I always thought
spear.
This is kind of awesome. I always thought Cesaro's the neutralizer. I always hated that move. I didn't think that looked impressive at all. You're just throwing you're just putting the guy in his stomach. I don't know. It didn't seem that devastating to me.
You know my thoughts on the main event, the Stroke, the stupidest finisher ever.
The Stroke?
You mean the skull crushing finale?
Same bullshit.
Yeah.
Yeah, this match was bullshit. And Spike Dudley's hair, Brother Runt, whatever I fucking call him, was awful.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, if you're gonna get thrown around like a lawn dart, why wouldn't you probably should shave your head so you're at least aerodynamic?
Next up is a Falls Count Anywhere triple threat match. You have Samoa Joe remaining undefeated so far in TNA, getting a win over Rhino and Monty Brown in about 13 and a half minutes.
What the fuck was that?
I'm happy they put Joe over here. This match was just a typical ECW hardcore match. Samoa Joe, I think, drove Rhino through the table and got the win.
What an awful ending, though.
Yeah, it was just.
Did you guys see that part where Joe tried to hit one of them with the cardboard table thing that they broke and it snapped in his hands? The wood that they took off they threw him through the wood. Then he picks it up and he's goes to hit it. It just goes flying. It's like he never even hit it with it because it broke before he could hit it with it.
Yeah. I think Samoa Joe deserved better. I mean, nothing against Rhino and Monty Brown, but I just think he could have such a better match with other talent. They're building him up as this exhibition guy. I don't know if this is where they're kind of trying to push him to the main event card because this is not an exhibition match. So we'll have to watch the next couple pay-per-views. I wonder if this is kind of the start where they're trying to elevate him a little bit. But this is a hardcore match that we've seen 1,000 times. There wasn't really anything special about it.
Yeah, it's just like you both said, did what it had to do, but you said it perfectly, Tim. Samoa Joe just deserved better. It was just Rhino was sloppy. Monty Brown was super sloppy. The ending spot, it was just with Rhino, the way Rhino went through it. You're like, did Rhino throw himself through it? It didn't look good. And I don't know. I think they didn't know what they were doing because this whole first half of the pay-per-view just felt so jumbled and thrown together. Nothing had really meaning. And it was just kind of all let me up matches. It was, I don't know, very weird vibe, and not just because of the fire, but almost like they couldn't find their footing. They couldn't find their groove. Like no match was like, yeah, that was a great match. Like there was some good spots, but nothing was like, oh my God, this is a great match. Not yet anyways.
Moving on.
Next
no
up.
no sense beating a dead horse.
Right. I feel like this is going to be a quick discussion too. Next up is Gail Kim getting a win over Serelda in 4 minutes.
Who?
Okay.
Did you say Cinderella?
Right. Yeah.
No. Yeah. I feel bad for Gail Kim because again, another one that could have, you put her with somebody else. I know the knockout division wasn't really as much of a thing now in 2006. But she could have. At least she wasn't with Jeff Jarrett at this point.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, it was nothing special by any means, and I know why it was on the show and everything else. But like, they could have cut this match. Like, there's no reason to have it. Like, they could have cut this and at least done the tag team match they promoted on the. Like you said, they did a promo with Shane Douglas for a match that never happened. So,
and this. Serelda, I quickly looked her up. I remember now once I clicked on it. Yeah, she was there for like a developmental deal, and then she literally this is her last match. I remember like she quit, went to Japan because like I don't think she was just catching on to the style. But
a cup of coffee. The definition of a cup of coffee was what she was there for. What, 2 pay-per-views?
It was just match was so sloppy, like you said, Tim. Poor Gail Kim,
and she was active till 2017. Serelda, Xavier Woods, whatever the fuck her name is. I'm just saying, like, she somehow made it, and she was trained by friggin' Scott D'Amore and who the hell was the other guy? Jason Dukes, or whatever the hell his name was.
Dukes.
Yeah, like she had decent trainers. She was a bigger woman who just kind of looked clumsy, especially next to someone who could actually wrestle like Gail Kim. They didn't do her any favors throwing her in there. What was probably one of her first, like, actually exposures on like a pay-per-view besides the being in AJ and Daniel's corner. And they like, you know what? We're going to have you face Gail Kim. That's like taking a fucking kid that was just drafted in the draft in June and saying, hey, we're going to let you face Aaron Judge tomorrow. Just throw pitches, see how it goes. Good luck. See what happens. You know what I mean? It's
sorry about your mental health after, and when you have crippling anxiety because we broke you.
Yeah.
No, it doesn't make sense. And I know from, not only this podcast, talking to Jonathan Life, which hopefully we can get him back on. He said he was interested, by the way, guys. And also we've run into a couple different down here in North Kakalaki, as well, would say. A lot of things they tell you is that, like, some of them have gone to like Ring of Honors and things like that, is the timing is so different. And with the Fire, all these matches probably being shuffled around, the match getting cut that we've been talking about all night. Done this match. So you have this girl who's probably had, like you said, Roland, maybe one match. Like, now you're go out with one of the best women's wrestlers in the world. You guys only got like 3.5 minutes. Make magic.
Make it look good though. Yeah.
And she says, like, what kind of moves can I do in 3 minutes that make me look good? And she's like, all right. And then Gail's like, just follow my lead. And you could tell that she just was lost, and it was kind of sad. Yeah. I'm not trying to like crap on her. Like,
no, they did her no favors.
They
made her crapping on her. It's crapping on
the headlights. That's
Jarrett and TNA and whoever was in charge, throwing her to the wolves. Essentially, like, here we go. We have this person that we want to promote as someone that could be a potential, woman's competitor for Gail Kim. We're not going to build her up more. We're going to have her go right to Gail Kim's second show. Go for it.
That's the one thing people crap on WWE and AEW for is how they use, dark and their off-camera shows, but sometimes it's good to do house shows and, just taped, things to get exposure in front of the crowds. But if you're going to have a botch too, but you know what, if moves don't work or if storylines and gimmicks don't work, like, people crap on dark and stuff, but they've developed legit storylines on dark. They have care of it because it's kind of like that's their house show. So they're testing this works, this doesn't work. So, and that's what I think TNA kind of lacked was, they had their weekly TV, they had their pay-per-view, but they didn't really do house shows that much. They were very sporadic, like the one you went to in Hampton. But so, these poor wrestlers can't really do up. So it's like, okay, you got this or you don't.
Our next match is a three-way dance for the X Division title. Senshi is going to retain his title, getting a win over P.D. Williams and Jay Lethal in 10.5 minutes. I think this is the best match of the night so far. I think it was a solid match. I mean, all three of these guys can go. The X Division is the, like, so far when we've covered 2005 and now a lot of 2006, it is the best thing that TNA, I think, puts out there. It's the best product. I know it's kind of like Bischoff doesn't quite understand what the X Division is. It's a little bit confusing. I guess they didn't really define it that well, but you can't deny the matches that they've put on. I think, I don't know if it's as good as when you have had Styles and Daniels in the picture, but it was a hell of a X Division match.
Well, it was what made WCW so good was the cruiserweight division. It's very similar to 96, 97, 98 WCW. I mean, that's what you had, guys on the undercard tearing the house down. Then you have the main event of Hulk Hogan coming out and taking the finger poke of doom, and they're like, why did our shows not do well? It's like that. That's why. Like, and that's TNA's calling card up until this point, is every time you have Jeff Jarrett in the main event, it's a wonky ass finish. Not going to go too far forward, but
that's foreshadowing, folks.
Another wonky ass finish with Jeff Jarrett. I mean, it's just, and nobody, like, that's the worst part. It's kind of like we were talking about the Ric Flair match being the main event for that show. Like, you leave having the taste in your mouth of a Ric Flair almost dying in a match that looked like it was in slow motion, and that's, you have a match like this in the hardcore, or Hard Justice rather.
Hardcore country.
Well, yeah, it's very difficult not to say hardcore when you're talking wrestling, because usually it's a hardcore match or it's whatever. But yeah, so you have this match in the middle of the card, essentially back half of the card, but that could steal the show almost anywhere, and nobody remembers it because all they remember is the Gaga and blue balls at the end. That's all they remember. And it's unfortunate because guys like Shelley, guys like Sabin, guys like Jay Lethal, guys like Kaval, guys like Loki, guys like Senshi, guys like who else was in the match? I forgot now. I was too busy making sure I named all three of the
Petey Williams.
Thank you. I wanted to name all three of Kaval's characters. But yeah, you had guys like that busting their ass, and when the people left, all they were like, "Well, Jeff Jarrett had another wonky ass finish." Like, it's too
like
bad.
It's like with any art form. Like, if you think of a movie, and I know, Tim, it's hard because we have a smaller sample size, but if you pretty much remember the beginning and the end of a movie, and that's why Chris Jericho said best: the two best spots on the pay-per-view card are the first match and the last match, because fans remember the opening and fans remember the ending, like you said, because of the wonkiness, or if something epic happens. Very rarely, unless the middle match is like a Shawn Michaels, Kurt Angle WrestleMania, are you really going to remember that match? So like you said, it's sad it kind of gets lost in the shuffle of Jarrett overbooking himself, and Jarrett just being, look at me, slap nuts. Like, it is a shame. And Tim, I think to help you out, the X Division, I think the way I always personally defined it, and I could be wrong, so I'm sure people will call me out, is they always said it was division no limits. So I always kind of thought it was like a hybrid cruiserweight and like light heavyweight mix up, like a mashup of those styles. And then it just kind of evolved into the heavyweights are like, I can do that, like a Samoa Joe. And then kind of just evolved into like a whole new style of wrestling. Whereas it wasn't like a cruiserweight. It was just, if you can do this, you can go. So it kind of became like the new age, like the hyper indie wrestling. So that's kind of what it was always to me. It was like you had WWE, WCW, where they had more like the arm bars and the technical wrestling and like the FTRs, which is great. And that's why I love wrestling, because it's like a buffet. You can have an FTR, Briscoes, that's beat the shit out of that match for like an hour, and there's a lot of arm rests, holds, drags, but it tells a story. Then you have the newer style where it's athletic as hell, like this match. They're going 100 miles an hour. They're doing crazy spots, crazy bumps. And you go because it's like a race. You're like, yeah, it's like your adrenaline's going. So they both tell a different story to it. So I think that's why, like you said, Tim, that's why this was their niche, because they had a lot of lackluster regular wrestling and a lot of lackluster storytelling. But you had the X Division that would just AJ Styles, those kind of matches that you get pumped up for. So you could, and then like Roland said, crash your car and have Jeff Jarrett's Gaga.
Well, and then like the other thing too that I want to point out is I like that they had a creative ending to this match that set up more stuff for possibly down the road of having Petey Williams essentially have the match won, and Kaval steals it from him. Mm-hmm. Sorry, Senshi, low key, whatever the fuck you want to call him.
Low key, my favorite match so far.
Yeah, definitely, I agree with that.
Next up is a tag team match for the NWA tag team titles. You have AJ Styles and Christopher Daniels defeating LAX, Homicide, and Hernandez in about 14 and a half minutes. I think it's another solid match. Honestly, I feel bad. Like, I watched this a while ago, but I don't think this was too memorable for me, which is kind of shocking considering who's involved in this match with Daniels and Styles. So, I think it's a perfect setup for the main event, though. If it's not going to go on last. But yeah, just unfortunately, like you said, with the whole Jeff Jarrett thing, that's kind of like a taste in your mouth that you have with the pay-per-view.
And that's been the MO from TNA from when we started watching. Like, every match that's a main event match that has something to do with Jeff Jarrett never has a clean finish. Fucking ever. So
even
like
this,
I said,
even his most recent match.
What's what I'm saying?
Knuckles.
Well, if Ric Flair woke up in time. But yeah, I mean, it's unfortunate too, because this was actually, I mean, Tim watched it pretty much right after we did our last show. So Tim watched it like a week ago pretty much, but like I watched it today or Friday before I went to work, and I'll give it credit. It wasn't the best thing on the card, but at this point it was probably the second best thing on the card, which means it was probably the second best thing period on the whole card.
Honestly, if you turned on this pay-per-view for the Fire to see the debacle and then just fast forwarded to the X Division match and just went from there, you've got the kind of the whole pay-per-view, because the rest was filler.
Yeah,
I'll say it. I don't know if it was a timing or what, but it just that put out the fire more of passion of watching it more than the fire extinguishers did.
Well, and I will say, to be fair, the Shelley Sabin match was pretty good too for what it was.
But it was it's forgettable. That's what sucks. They can go.
Yeah. Well, and it was forgettable because of the fucking Kevin Nash crap.
Yeah.
Yep.
If they had just had a match a la the triple threat for the X Division title, we'd remember it. But instead, you have a nobody jobber and Johnny Devine and Kevin Nash out there playing friggin' horseshoes and hand grenades during the match while the match is going on.
So a couple people actually asked us about the trailer, because we talk about blue balls and gaga. Roland just gave the definition of what our blue balls and gaga phrase is. It's when you have a great match and you're ready to see a finish, but it's a bullshit finish, like a Jeff Jarrett finish, where they come in and they ruin it, like the Kevin Nash segment, or Shannon fucking Moore still have you blocked, where they just completely ruin a match that you want to see, so it leaves you with blue balls because of the gaga interference. So it's literally the definition people have asked us, the easiest way to describe it.
Yeah.
And so far, TNA gives you a lot of blue balls and gaga.
Yeah.
Well, it's unfortunate too, because like, I, for the most part, used to really look forward to these shows, but the last couple of them have just been fucking hard to watch. Like they haven't been anywhere near. And I believe I mentioned that the last show. Like I don't know what happened. Like, I don't know if Cornette coming in and they focus more on that crap, or I don't know, but like something was different with these last couple of shows, and they've been very lackluster.
It's because their whole summer was booked off one storyline that was just stupid. So it just killed any momentum they had. And kind of like how in WWE, how Roman Reigns is not going to show up for Extreme Rules, shocker. So he's only going to show up for Castlemania and Survivor Series. You can't have your world title be meaningless in shows and in television pay-per-view. And that's kind of what TNA's problem was, is the NWA title was held hostage by Jarrett, who didn't wrestle last month. There was a number one contenders the month before, and then the month before that was a bullshit ending where he won it when he shouldn't have. So it's like you have the third pay-per-view now over the same storyline that just hasn't been resolved and shouldn't even need to be a thing. Like you said, because Cornette was like, let's make it drama filled. No, Cornette, you can't just come in and like immediately be a bull in a china shop with storylines. Right. You gotta phase out your existing storylines and phase in new ones. Kind of like, not to keep too disappointing, but like Triple H is being smart. He's cutting a lot of Vince's storylines off certain points, but he's kind of slowly flipping them. Like he's flipping Liv Morgan starting to become a heel because she's embracing the booze. So they're being smart. I mean, Ronda's never going to get cheers, but they're trying to flip it because he's trying to see what's the pulse of the audience. And TNA just didn't care. I don't know if it's, I don't know, but yeah, I agree with you, Roland. Like this whole Jeff Jarrett NWA title hostage situation just killed their momentum.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about the Jeff Jarrett match. It's for the NWA World title. Yeah. Jeff Jarrett's going to retain against Sting in 15 minutes. Jeff Jarrett's got Scott Steiner with him. Sting has Christian Cage. They're two enforcers, kind of make sure everything's in line. They get, like I said, there's so much gaga with the two, so much interference throughout the match, kind of really took away from the actual title match itself. At one point, they both got ejected, but then they came back. And then, the finish comes, Christian turns on Sting, hits him with the guitar, and Jarrett retains. The one good thing I will say with the Gaga is I like going into it. I thought the Christian heel turn was kind of predictable, but when you watch the match, he actually does a lot of defending Sting. Like, he does a lot of beating up Steiner and stuff like that, to the point where, like, you question yourself, is he actually going to turn? So I kind of give him a little bit of credit for that, but I don't like this much outside interference in a world title match. Like, the world title should be, just be a straight up match. So, yeah, like you said, it kind of leaves you a bad taste in your mouth.
I mean, you said it better than either one of us could say it. It was that LOL TNA finish of like, oh, this show was or had so much potential, and then you puked all over the main event. And another shocker, another main event that Jeff Jarrett's in, for one, and two, it wasn't a clean finish. Shocker. Fucking shocker. At this point, we've watched probably 20-ish TNA shows, and every time Jarrett's been in the main event, name one that has won clean.
Yeah.
Go ahead. I'll wait.
No,
because anytime he's in a main event for the title picture, it's never a clean finish ever.
He overbooks, and that's the problem with wrestling, is overbooking. So, like, Tony Khan, take notice. Certain things you just don't need to book. You just need certain things need to play out. Certain things need to kind of, I don't know how to say it, be into the stratosphere, but sometimes you need a clean finish. Sometimes you just need the, oh my God, Jeff Jarrett won clean, Sting lost clean. It doesn't kill momentum every time. Like, I don't know if it's because they want to protect Sting at the same time, but all it does is, it's the same as the Usos and Roman Reigns. I'm just tired of every Roman Reigns match ending the same way, of his idiot doofus fucking cousins interfering, them getting their asses kicked, Roman barely overcoming the odds, but still proving he won. Oh, he's going 1,000 cool, but now he barely shows up, and it's the same match every time. There's offense, he struggles, his doofus cousins interfere. It's like, if you keep overbooking the same match, people get too. It's like when they make movies and they remake them. It's like they just slightly change the scenes. You're like, this is the same fucking movie. Like, we're gonna get a lot of hate for this one, but Star Wars, the sequels, the first one there, Force Awakens. It's a shot for shot remake of A New Hope. It's like literally the same thing. Like, she's stranded on a planet. She goes to a spaceship to take on an evil person cloaked in black. Like, it's literally the first Star Wars movie. And that's kind of what wrestling does, is they copy themselves, but sometimes you can't copy the same thing month after month after month. TNA was doing it. WWE currently does it. Like, they need to learn from the past. Like, this is what, like you said, LOL TNA, what made you puke on the main event was, oh yeah, another Jarrett finish. Like, God forbid he loses, even God forbid he wins clean for once. So, like, when he brags on his podcast, I was you're NWA champion a few times, but every title run was controversial. It's not because you were a heel; it's because you just didn't know how to book yourself.
Well, and how do you take someone serious too at that? Like, how does, as a big picture, as a booker, every single match that you have won has had some. How can you expect others to take you seriously, and how do you take yourself seriously as an actual champion if you're getting the Roman Reigns treatment now, where you need help to win every time?
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's what's happening with Roman's defense right now. Like Mongo said, they're watering it down. Like, either take the belt off him or let him win some matches on his own. Like, those are your options at this point. You can't literally every week or every month or whenever he decides to wrestle, every other month, whatever it is, you can't have him lose or win rather the same way, like all the time. He either needs to lose and have the titles go away, or he needs to show that he can win, because he's like, I'm a tribal chief. Yeah, with your fucking clown cousins that have you win every fucking match now. Like, when's the last time Roman won clean?
It's almost like how they did the Jinder run too, because but I mean, no one cared about Jinder, but he would always have the wish versions of who he has now. But what I'm talking about, the Singh brothers. I think they were
The Bollywood boys. The Bollywood boys. Yeah.
The ones that Randy Orton basically kills by throwing onto the table.
That's one of the best fucking memes ever. Like, the look that Randy gives afterwards of when he like fucking just about killed one of them. Yeah.
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 I mean, go back to this stuff. I think I'm gonna be harsh. I'm gonna say a 4.5, 5, and 5 being generous because of the X Division match. But really the X Division match and maybe the tag team match are the only matches I enjoyed. And then the shit with the fire was just so entertaining because it was funny that it was just like they kept it in. It made it watchable because really the main event was passable. Everything else was mess. So like 4.5, 5.
I just want to know which brother Randy Orton almost killed. Was it Harold or was it Kumar? I don't know which one. I don't know which one it was, but yeah, no. So going back to I struggle to rate this thing any higher than like you said, about a 4, 4.5. Like the last couple shows have really been disappointing, and they have decent cards. And would it kill them to let some of these matches actually play out? Like, would it really kill them?
I'm right with you guys. I'm right out of 4. Like I said, the X Division match and possibly the tag team match are the 2 if you're gonna watch something, watch those 2. But yeah, I mean, I don't really have anything else to add whatever you said. So I'll go with a 4 for this one. So that wraps up Hard Justice 2006. We are going back to SummerSlam mode next week with SummerSlam 05. You got a lot of good names on the card. That's the Custody of Dominic ladder match between Eddie Guerrero and Rey Mysterio. This is one of Eddie Guerrero's last pay-per-view matches. He will sadly pass away a few months after that show. The main event is Hogan and Michaels on top. That's a 21-minute match, so that'd be interesting to see how Hogan does.
21 minutes of Shawn Michaels overselling.
I can't wait.
Yeah, looking forward to covering that. So that's what's coming up for you guys next week. Like we said in the beginning, follow us on our socials at WWPAP Podcast. We're on TikTok, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, all the other
face,
shit.
Your face.
Yeah, my face, your face.
All these platforms until Mongo gets himself in trouble.
Yeah, we're gonna be on MySpace probably.
I mean, if that's the case, you can just follow at TKurt on air, at Roland Felix, or at WWPAP Mongo on Twitter.
Right.
But make sure you're also liking and reviewing the show, guys, because we've had a lot of growth. We want to thank you. Like we said before, we've doubled our download goal on one day. Like we've crushed goals. Thank you guys so much. We're really close to hitting 40 countries, which is unheard of. So thank you guys for listening. Thank you guys for always tuning us in. Not to steal Tim's line. Just please make sure clicking that 5-star, leaving us reviews, giving us feedback. We appreciate it because you guys make this fun too.
Without looking at that list, can you even name 40 countries? Like I would struggle to come up with that. I mean, that's crazy. It's just insane. And I'm not saying I'm dumb. I'm just saying
it's hard to comprehend.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, just like we're we started. We're from New Hampshire. I know Mongo ditched us, but just three
greener pastures.
Yeah, 3 buddies from New Hampshire starting this podcast in my living room with shitty equipment and stuff. So.
With a really bad mic the first show.
Yeah.
And shortly after that, we knocked the other one over, which is in the opening. It's just my son called him Mick Foley, McFlurry.
Mm-hmm.
We've come from humble beginnings, and other than Mongo trying to get us banned just about everywhere, I'd say we're pretty humble. So
yeah,
I'm not trying to get us banned. Apparently, when you don't pay for advertising, they just like to come down with you, the banhammers.
Banhammer, wasn't that a wrestler in WCW?
I mean, right? What I don't get is Tommy Lee can have his freaking massive schlong over the internet for 24 hours on over, and he doesn't get banned. I posted a goddamn video of Ric Flair, and they're like, "Whoa, how dare you violate our community standards?" Really? I literally had to scroll through and just see Tommy Lee's junk right on Facebook.
Zuckerberg's like, "Is that a cock?" You're like, "No, it wasn't. I swear, it was just Ric Flair." Like, I know it looks like weathered leather, but no, I swear it wasn't. It wasn't. It wasn't. And Tommy Lee's like, "No, that really was a cock." Like, he's like, "Here you go."
That can be on social media. Literally, I got up early in the morning and I was going to the bathroom, and you know how you just quickly scroll and you're like, "Oh, what the hell?" Last thing you see at 4 a.m. taking a dump is Tommy Lee's massive schlong. I'm good.
You're like, "There's Tommy and all 3 of his legs."
Right.
Yeah. At what? How old's Tommy Lee now? 50 something. I mean, he's out there just
good for him. Good for him.
I mean, yeah.
But I'm just saying,
like you
I
said,
personally, that's something I want to see.
Yeah.
I'm like, sir, I wanted to see memes. I didn't want to.
He's like, "Did you say peens?" He's like, "Here's a peen." Yeah. You're like, "No, memes." He's like,
I was even hoping some of the ones they have the Tim's favorite ECW managers getting an action figure.
I saw that. Yeah,
the whistleblower himself.
Yeah.
Yep. We're gonna have to get Tim one of those action figures.
It'll have to be in the background.
Hey, I know. I have to put it on my.
You can just use a thumbtack and hang it up there, like on right behind you, so it'll be like right behind your head.
I could do that
Right up here, like almost like a almost
Or
like
have him just have him come in like at an angle, like just randomly was like woo.
Who is
like,
that?
looks like Zack Ryder.
It is Zack Ryder.
Yeah.
Woo, I knew it.
Well, no, it's like the only loose Hasbro. It's only
That was
loose
a good
Hasbro
one.
I have.
Yes. See what happens when you guys only let me have a beer and a half during an episode. I'm way more with it. It's I have more fun on those other episodes.
I'm literally just mentally recovered from COVID, so I'm still half woo.
I thought you were going with another R word there. I was like, oh no,
recovered. I said recovered. But yeah, no, man, that was no joke. Like that second to last day of pure back pain and the cold sweats, the hot sweat. Be careful.
Cold sweats, hot sweats. Who gives a shit?
Right?
You're like, I do.
Jesus
it was bad.
Christ.
I had a lot to give.
I need a jacket. Don't need a jacket. Gold jacket.
Green jacket. Who gives a shit? Yeah,
I saw what you're going there. Happy Gilmore.
Well, we may as well
Two
reference it at the beginning. We may as well reference it at the end.
I know Tim's seen that one. We've discussed.
I have seen that one. Yes, that's a good movie.
Well, I mean, you figure if it's golf or bowling related, there's a good chance Tim's probably seen it. So,
Yep.
Did you see the Alley Cat Strike? You ever see that movie?
That was a great movie on Disney Channel.
That was a fantastic
I did
movie.
not.
I think
I did see a movie called Strike once. I think it had Tara Reid in it. It was really
Of course,
bad.
because was she naked in that one, Tim? Is that why you
I don't think so.
He's like, unfortunately, no.
I don't think so.
So now
That's
now Tim's homework for this week is he has to watch Alley Cat Strike. And they have a song in there that's like, ooh ah, right down the middle. Ooh ah. Yeah.
It's cheesy, but yeah, it was also made for 12-year-olds.
Yeah, I mean, it was a Disney movie, so
it's not terrible. I mean, I went. And saw
there's worse
Super,
movies out there. Trust me.
Yeah, I was gonna say I went and saw Super Pets. It's not the greatest movie, but Cam loved it. So why not? I didn't mind it.
There's worse movies out there, like Master of Disguise.
I'm turtle.
I've never seen a movie that, and I know we're getting ready to wrap this up, but I've never seen a movie that literally all the best parts were in the fucking preview. But literally, Master of Disguise, all the best parts.
I have any of those parody movies like the vampires suck or
scary movies.
Scary movie 503. I remember I went and saw the one that was making fun of 300. It was called We Are the Spartans or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why. I should know by the poster that this was going to be the dumbest fucking movie. Paid $30. We go see this movie. I'm about 10 minutes in the movie and I already want to fucking leave. So I do. I literally I'm good. I'll eat the $30 before I say I'm not sitting through this. I've never finished that movie. I never will. And I added to my list. I have 5 or 6 movies. I'm yep, never gonna finish those because fuck that movie. The other one was that weird Sherlock Holmes one with Will Ferrell and John C. Reilly.
Oh,
I got 5 minutes into it because I'm I love Step Brothers. I'm what the hell is this movie?
That movie was bad. Yeah.
Thank God, all I do is turn Netflix off on that one.
The only movie that I ever walked out of the movie theater was, and I forget the name of it, but it was a Thanksgiving movie about the presidential pardon, the turkey that the president pardons every year for Thanksgiving. And there's an animated movie and Owen Wilson's in it. I forget what it's called, but it was awful.
Was it the Rockstar Rooster one?
No, I don't know what it was. I think it might have been called something Bird or something.
I'm gonna look up Owen Wilson movies now.
Yeah. Owen Wilson, I think, was the turkey. It was so bad.
And then the other one was District 9. We went, Glenn and I went over to Regal in Newington. So, haha, Glenn, I hope you get banned. I can't get banned from that one. And there's plenty of other choices down here. We went and saw District 9, and it's about these aliens and they're studying. I don't know. The movie was stupid. We got up and left once we found out they were doing documentary style. They're and the aliens have turned to prostitution. And some of the aliens were legit prostituting themselves. And walking around Men in Black style aliens were prostitutes. I'm I'm good. We went and saw G.I. Joe instead. So that's literally the only other movie I've walked out on. I was I have not seen the end of this fucking. Everybody's that's a great one. No, the aliens were prostitutes. I'm good. I can watch Fast and the Furious where they're on that runway for an hour and be yeah, whatever. But I'm good when it gets that stupid.
And I can get real prostitutes on the street.
Well, which one? Hopefully you mean GTA, Tim.
Right. Was it Freebirds?
I think that's what it was, yeah.
That had Woody Harrelson in it too.
Did it? I don't know.
Dude, that motherfucker is in everything.
I don't know if this is. Yeah, that's exactly what it is. Yeah, Owen Wilson as Reggie, a domesticated turkey who is pardoned by the President of the United States and is dragged into Jake's plot. Yeah.
Tim never stayed to find out what
I paid money to see that one.
Let me see. On Rotten Tomatoes, it's a brisk 20%.
Dude, I paid money to see the fucking We Are the Spartans. I 100% agree. Like,
Master of Disguise. That the weekend it came out, there was me and my buddy were the only people in the theater. It should have been a fucking red flag right there.
That should be a good topic. We should post on one of our socials. What's the worst wrestling event you went to? Like, I paid money to be here.
I was thinking, you know what we should do? In all honesty, I'll say this and then we can get out of here. We should do a segment every show. It should be a wrestler, and we have to rate their matches at a certain pay-per-view. Like, say, okay, Shawn Michaels WrestleMania. He wrestled in all these wrestling, and we have to rank them and read off.
It's a lot of
like,
stress.
Well, no, so like, but we do them ourselves, and we see like if we ever need filler, I think that would be really cool because it's a topic that like people can go with. Like you can debate that, and I think it would be really neat if like we said, okay, you know, Triple H WrestleMania matches, or you know something like that, or you know, and we go that way, and we could easily fill a half hour just talking rating people's matches like that and where we think they are on a certain list.
True.
I just thought it'd be a cool segment to do every now and again. Maybe the next time there's not a show that lines up that we like, maybe we do that for a couple of, we pick like a Shawn Michaels, and then we pick a Randy Orton, or we just randomly pick a couple of people and we say, okay, this person's SummerSlam matches, and then we go down the list. We just look at what's there and we rank them. And we just, I thought it would be kind of neat. I thought of that today. I just wanted to throw that out there.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, definitely something we can work with. All right, so we will head on out of here. Thanks for tuning us in. Hi, Linda, by the way. Thanks for listening. I know we went a little bit long today, but thank you.
Mom was feeling better. See?
Yes.
Thank you.
Like I said, SummerSlam 2005 is coming up for you guys next week. Until then, I'm Tim Kurt.
I'm Roland Fulis.
And I'm Mongo.
And this is Wrestling with Wrestling's Past and Present.
The roof was on fire. We don't need no water. Let the podcast end. I hope you're all having a nice day.